so much more effective this past week than it had been previous to that?
Well, I think it sounds coach speak and cliche, but just better execution. I thought the long runs that Antonio had, his eyes were in the right place, allowed him to make the correct cut. And the guys up front blocked it better, and they were playing us, to stop the pass. So when people play you stop the pass, you got to be able to run the ball. Both parts of your game have to complement each other, and we did a better job of that Saturday.
Had that kind of been the opposite dynamic earlier in the season? Like teams were trying to take away the run more, and that opened.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it just depends on what team's personality are and how they want to play you. But obviously, you got to have those two pieces of your offense complement each other. But probably at the beginning of the season, people are trying to figure out who you are, what you are, and as the season goes along, they adjust to what you're good at.
And Antonio had been one of the guys who really showed up during preseason camp, and this was maybe his first in-game experience where he really broke loose. Just what did you have you been seeing from him?
I just thought he did a really nice job of using his eyes to get to his cuts, and his eyes were in the right places. And he set the defense up really well when he made those cuts. He kind of was patient. He pulled people into places, and then found the open hole and hit it. And I think too, Antonio in the first game got a little banged up. I thought kind of last week was the first week it looked like he was truly back to full speed. So I think his health has been an improved factor in him looking like he looked Saturday. He looked like the old Antonio that we saw in the spring.
Sam,
when you go back and watch the film, was it an improved effort by the offensive line from previous weeks?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought our execution was better. Our blocking was better. A little of it was what they were doing on their side, but I thought we were on our guys and covering up the defensive linemen and the linebackers and giving our backs a chance to make cuts.
Just Hank Purvis coming in there at the end of the first half of the second half. How do you think he performed in his first real season?
I thought Hank did really well. I made the comment at the end of the game, I didn't even notice that Hank was in the game, which is a great thing in the offensive line, right? If you don't get noticed, that means you're doing your job most of the time. And because usually the offensive linemen only get noticed for the bad things, not so much the good. So I just thought by the end of the game, we operated the same way we'd had with Hank in there. So that's credit to Hank and the job that he's done preparing himself for that opportunity.
Feels like every week you have a different receiver who steps up and has a big game. This time Corey Smith has the long touchdown and got a couple opportunities. How deep is that receiver room where it seems like just, whether it's E.J. Horton or Omar Branch, Michael Jackson's kind of been the consistent one, but different guys are stepping up every game.
Well, I think the challenge, I think the good news is we have talent. We can all see that. We're getting multiple players in a position to make plays and making them. I think the not so good news in that is that we need consistency. We need the same guys being the same guys every week. And to your point, kind of Mike, Jack, and Nitro have been the same guys they've been every week, and we need the other guys to be that every single week. That's really why you're seeing it's really not a talent battling back and forth. It's really just inconsistency. It's not there's not two or three other guys that are like, every day I'm the guy that you can count on to do it this way. It's kind of been an up and down flow at the rest of the spots. They're all talented enough to do it. We all know they can do it. We all believe in them to do it. We need those guys to get more consistent on a day-to-day basis and a week-to-week basis for each game.
Josh, where do you think the offense has evolved the most since the start of the season?
I would say probably in the passing game. Just our ability to get guys open, our ability to run routes and get open. I feel like we're challenging people in that part of our game where, I felt like in fall camp we were still developing that. But I think, every week you got to go prove it. But I feel like we're threatening people with some of the things that we're doing.
What more do you want to see?
Well, you saw Saturday, man, there's just a lot of near misses, right? When we've got guys open, whether, that's the throw, whether that's the catch, whether it's, a little pressure and protection that affects the throw. I just want to see better execution. I want to see us hit the plays that we had called Saturday, and then see where that game ends up. Because you know, and it's this way in every game. But again, you know, I told the offense our challenge is yes, we're getting better. Yes, we can see the improvement, but our standard has to be that we're chasing excellence, and our standard has to be that every single time we step on the field, we're going to take this drive, and our mindsets we're going to score. It's not, oh hey, you did pretty good. Well, you know, pretty good doesn't win the game, and we're not here to do pretty good. We're here to win.
Just again, how much does the tight end room miss George, and how can you get more out of that group? And is there anybody that's going to take ownership of that group without George playing?
Well, I think it's going to be by committee, because I think each guy has a different. You know, they have skill sets that are better in one area versus the other, and we have to do a really good job of getting the guys on the field for the plays where their skill set fits. George was the one guy we had that could kind of be both. You know, in every tight end room usually has guys that are tilted a little bit more towards the receiving aspect, a little bit more towards the blocking aspect. What you hope is you can find a guy or two that can do both, and then you can fill in around that guy. And so that is what it is. It's just, and our guys are going to do a good job using their skill sets, and we just got to get those skill sets on the field at the right times where they can use them.
Anything about Minnesota's defense that's going to pose a challenge, you think?
Well, I think the strength of their defense is their physicality and their size. They're big. Up front, they do a really nice job. I mean, they hit gaps. They're aggressive off the ball. They're a little bit different animal in a pass rush. They're very physical pass rushers. Their defensive ends are, I think one guy's 6'6", 280 pounds. They're big guys. So that to me is where they pose a real challenge. Linebackers play downhill, play hard. Secondary certainly aggressive and good enough to get the job done. You know, so again, but you know, every week we look at the film, and there's very few times that and every team is this way. It's very few times that it's like, oh, the other guy just manhandled you. You know, I mean, that happens a little bit. It's going to happen a little bit in a league like the Big Ten, but it's going to happen like 8 individual battles the whole game on any given Saturday. The rest of it is going to be how well did you, regardless of what side of the ball you're on, execute your technique, and how well did you execute your assignment. And we just got to get more consistent in the execution, because we're good enough to win. We've proven that. We're good enough to go score and give our team a chance to win. We just got to get more consistent at it.
More questions for Coach? Yeah.
Just how did you grade out Ryan's performance on Saturday? And with that volume of attempts, should it be more productive than that, or is that just what Illinois was taking away?
I thought we could have been more productive. I mean, obviously we all saw the opportunities where there are a lot of near misses. You know, a ball just off the hands, or a drop, whatever it might be. We had some other opportunities too in the second half. Just, you know, taking some things that just keep drives moving, you know, and I think I think it's natural for a guy like Ryan, who's ultra competitive and wants to win every snap and every game, you know, to be looking for that explosive play on every snap. Sometimes it's just a hitch. Sometimes it's just a nice little 6-yard gain on 3rd and 4 right over the middle, and Ryan knows that. We've already talked about it, looked through it, and you know, and that's what we got to do. We've got to. It doesn't matter what time of game you're in. You always put the scoreboard away. You don't ever look at it. You don't have to. You just operate the offense the way it's designed to be operated, and Ryan will continue to get better and better at that. But you know, he gave us a chance to win. And even with that said, he could have been so much better. Like, he could have been phenomenal. And that's, you know, we forget this is, I think, his 6th game, 7th game coming up now, 8th game to start. He's still growing, right? And he's going to get better every week at doing that, because that's the one thing I love about Ryan. When you coach him on something, he gets better at it, and he'll continue to get better.
Anything else for Coach Henson? All right, thank you, Coach.
All right.